So over the past few days, there have been a lot of conversations about game state, the way you play when you are trying to protect your lead, the way you play when you have 10 men or are playing against 10 men, or the way that you play when you are chasing a goal. But perhaps the most interesting game state is actually right at the start of a football match, when it's still 0-0 and no action has yet unfolded, because in these moments we get a clear idea of the two teams' plans. And in terms of Manchester United, I would say we've started games pretty well. Take the Arsenal match, the Fulham match, the Burnley match and the Chelsea match, they all have one thing in common. In each game, Manchester United have started off with the better momentum and have had a shot on goal within 6 minutes on each occasion. And the reason for that is because Ruben Amorim's side are starting football matches with an incredible intensity that just seems to completely catch the opposition off guard. Now, United's intensity starts with the out of possession shape and Manchester United looking to press really high up the pitch. We know over the course of a 90-minute match or a 38-match season, United can be a little bit inconsistent in pressing moments. However, in terms of from the start of the game, that is not the case. United are starting matches aggressively. Apart from the City one, that was a little bit of an anomaly. But in the Premier League, United have been starting fast. And what we've been looking to do is put teams under pressure. And there is a reason we want to do this. It's a very obvious reason. If we are pushing forward in one shape or another and putting the opposition under pressure, it means they are less likely to be able to play out from the back. So therefore, instead, they are going to send the ball long. This straight away means that the opposition are giving up control, especially if we can win the first ball, which we've been really good at this season, completing the 4th most headers in the Premier League so far this season. But also, importantly, we've been really good on the second ball. When these second balls have been dropping in midfield, United have been very effective, as we can see in some of these graphics here. Now, the reason why United have become so good at this is because of the physical levels improving over the summer. We all saw the Manchester United players returning to pre-season training in much better shape. We all saw pre-season where United looked more intense, and we've also signed more intense players. The likes of Cunha, Sesko and Mbumo are all good pressers. They all work really hard. And then, like I said, that's forcing the opposition to play long. De Ligt has had a particularly good start to the season in the air. He's been dominant in his duels, and then United have picked up the second ball. So what we're doing very early on in matches is forcing the opposition to give up possession. We saw a perfect example of this in the Chelsea match the other day. You can see United here with a lot of players high up the pitch and looking to put Chelsea under pressure. This is within the first 12 minutes of the match. United applying themselves nice and high, forcing Chelsea to one side of the pitch and forcing Chelsea into mistakes. As Sanchez tries to play the pass out, Dorgu is there to pounce and United win the ball high. We of course also have seen United forcing the opposition long. This is against Arsenal, first day of the season, United pressing really high, Arsenal forced to play long, and De Ligt wins the first contact, and Manchester United pick up the second ball in midfield. Here against Burnley, again inside 12 minutes, forcing them to play long, which means they can't build possession. Manchester United are winning a lot of first contact and then getting on the second ball. Now, the other thing that United seem to be doing is starting matches with really good technical quality. So we sort of fluster the opposition initially. We press really high up the pitch. We force them to play long. They go long. We win the first ball. We win the second ball. But what United are then doing really well at the start of football matches is technically we look really clean. I don't know if the warm-ups at Old Trafford, for example, have changed or something like that. But at the start of matches, our players look really switched on. Players like Cunha and also, if I can find him, Mason Mount are really, really useful for this. Players that know how to use their body. So early on in a match, when the opposition are trying to come in for their first big tackle to put us under pressure, the likes of Mbumo, Mount, Cunha, experienced international footballers, they're ready for it. They know how to use their body. They're intelligent, they're strong players that protect the ball well, but also have fantastic technical quality. And if we look through the United team, we know that Bruno Fernandes can play first-time football to a high level, Casemiro can, Cunha, Mount and Mbumo. If we bring Ahmad in as well, these are all players that can play in this way. And this is very important because early on, not only are we forcing the opposition to give us the ball, we are then looking after the ball very effectively and actually knitting some really nice moves together. Take this example here against Fulham. We can see that Fulham have the ball initially, but Manchester United are intense. Lots of players around the ball, and eventually we win possession back. But importantly, when we win the ball back, we are seeing these technical moments. This is why I don't buy into the belief that United have a bad squad. I simply don't feel that we do. We have so many good footballers on the pitch. Here it's Bruno Fernandes who lays the ball into Matheus Cunha. Cunha with the first time back heel flick towards Mason Mount. Mason Mount has the intelligence to use his body to protect the ball before then laying the ball backwards. These are good technical moments, securing possession after forcing the opposition into a turnover. We got it again here in the same match. Manchester United intense, winning the ball, but then showing technical quality. This time it's Ahmad on the right-hand side. So Casemiro picks the ball up, he plays wide to Ahmad. Ahmad plays the ball first time round the corner to Brian and Mbeumo lays the ball off to Matheus Cunha. Cunha finds Mason Mount. Mason Mount with the first touch lays the ball back to Cunha. Cunha backheels it, and then Bruno Fernandes is there with the long shot. And again, this is all within the first 12 minutes of a match. United are starting fast and really looking after the ball. Now, as well as starting games fast and looking after possession and being intense, we have also seen that Manchester United can mix up their game. The goalkeepers for United have been the 7th highest in the league this season for the amount of passes that we are launching long. So yes, in moments we want to be really technical, we want to get the ball down and we want to play, but also we are not scared of punting the ball long. But of course, these aren't aimless kicks. We are looking for a big target man like Benjamin Sesko. But also, something that we spoke about all summer long was the increased physicality of the new front three. Cunha, Sesko and Mbeumo are all players that are really good at competing. Of course, we haven't seen them actually playing together yet, not regularly, not for more than 5 minutes really, but you can see physically what they bring to the team. They give us that ability to play a different type of football. And again, the important thing here is that it's at the start of the football match. What we normally see at the start of a match is two cagey teams, two teams that are sort of trying to figure each other out. United aren't giving the opposition the opportunity to do that. We are forcing teams long and winning the second ball. We're looking after the ball really well, but also we have the ability to go long, win the first duel, and then again get on the second ball. So if we can go long, win that first contact and get the ball down, we now know that we have space to attack. And the great thing about this is that so early on in the match, we are quickly putting the opposition on the back foot. Because the last thing they want to see 2.5 minutes into a game is a ball dropping to Bruno Fernandes with players like Sesko and Mbeumo then making a run off the ball. It's a nightmare start. Now, I should also add that Bayindir has been particularly useful for this. Last season, Onana's distribution was really poor, but Bayindir, at the start of the campaign, has actually been really good with his passing. A lot of it direct, but it's working. We've got physical players. Here it's Mason Mount and Matheus Cunha going up for the first ball. But what is just as important once again is the second ball. Mason Mount picks up the second ball, and now you can see how United can quickly pounce forward. If you're Arsenal in this situation, this is the last thing you want. You do not want to come to Old Trafford and 3 minutes into the game you are faced with this situation. Especially not with Mbeumo, a high quality player, running onto the ball like this. And of course we saw really the true effect of the chaos here against Chelsea. United send the ball long. Sesko is there with the flick. It doesn't always have to be pretty short football moving through the pitch. Sometimes you can go direct and ask questions in a different way. Really unsettle the opposition. That's what Sesko does, and I tell you what, it's what Brian and Mbeumo does as well. Now, like I've been hinting at throughout the video, the reason why I love this so much is because it unsettles the opposition. It doesn't give them the chance to get the ball down, to get your first touch. You know, if you've ever played football, your manager will often say, just complete your first couple of passes, you know, grow into the game and things like that. United aren't allowing teams to do that in the first 15 minutes because of the style of football. It's very direct, it's very intense, and it's very physical. However, we have seen it can wear off, and this is where United need to improve. When teams start to figure out our pressing structure, we do see teams that start to then play out from the back a bit more regularly. When teams start to pick up the second balls, for example, they start to get a grip of the game. The other problem is, because we're playing with such an incredible intensity from the start of the game, we get tired. That's only natural. It's very difficult to play an intense match for 90 minutes where you are punting balls long, you're winning second balls. You know, when we talk about fatigue, we think about lots of running, but it's also a lot of jumping for a lot of headers or a lot of tackles, a lot of physical contact. These are all things that tire players out, and as United start to fatigue, the opposition can then come back into the game. So that is certainly an area where United need to improve. However, in terms of those first 10 minutes, in 4 of the 5 Premier League games so far this season, I would say Manchester United have started the match very, very fast. And quite simply, we haven't done that in the past few seasons. We've been a team always that started quite slow and struggled to get going. Now, the only disappointing thing with regards to the fast Manchester United starts is that we're not really punishing the opposition just yet. Of course, Sanchez got a red card, which made a big difference to the rest of the game, but generally speaking, United haven't been taking these early opportunities. So what United now need to do, against Brentford, against Sunderland, is to do the same thing, to start again incredibly fast, put the opposition under pressure, don't let them grow into the game really, don't let them settle and get on the ball. Play fast, play quick, play physical, play direct if you have to. But importantly, actually make the opposition pay for it. United need to start turning these opportunities into chances and chances into goals to actually punish the opposition. If we can do that, there is every chance that this could be a really useful approach for Ruben Amorim, because if you can give yourself a 1-0 lead inside 15 minutes, then the game state that we were talking about earlier completely changes. The opposition are on the back foot, they've got to respond, perhaps bigger gaps open up over the rest of the pitch for the rest of the match. So I like what United are doing from the start of games. I like it. It feels proper Manchester United. Quick, fast, attacking, direct football, physical football. Now what we need to do is actually make it count so that we can then flourish for the rest of the game as well. That is the evolution that is needed, but so far good work is being done in the opening stages of football matches. We just need to try and extend it. But that, of course, is a conversation for another day. Right now, United aren't doing it, but hopefully we will in the future. For now, it's once again a case of wait and see. So we're going to wrap the video up there. Thank you guys very much for watching this video. I hope you have enjoyed it. If you have, please leave a like, subscribe, and get your notifications on. And as always, I will see you in the next one.